Okay, so we are getting ready for the event here in Woodstock, Illinois, which fortunately for me, for the first time ever, is right down the street from me. I live in Huntley, and this event is taking place in Woodstock, which is just north west, about 8 miles, not even. Actually, I think it is about 10 miles. And what I'm doing here is I'm preparing to run two different games using the same essentially board layout with a few modifications. And that fits into our moniker of our MO of sustainability, repeatability, and affordability. So that's what we're all about. And this is an example of that. We are looking at, on the left of the screen, a top view, Microsoft LifeCam looking down on the game table. That is, by the way, the full game table. The camera is fortunately high enough because of its mount that it's able to see, I think, if not, I think that's the whole table. And on the right, we are looking at a different view from the end of the game table, which, by the way, is on wheels. And it's one of the, well, I don't want to say the few things, but it's one of the things from IKEA that has really been helpful. And that is the tables that are provided from IKEA that have wheels and on their legs have proven to be extremely helpful. It doesn't matter that the table doesn't fold up because that's not an issue anymore. What's more of an issue is that the table is maneuverable, and the wheels provided with these IKEA legs are really nice casters, and they're large wheels, and the legs are nice and sturdy, and the table itself, the surface is thick and sturdy, and that's what's really good about those IKEA tables, of which I have two. One is used for my painting station, and one is used for the game table out here in the main room. So what we are looking at is getting ready. Well, I'm doing inventory. We're doing our version of BattleTech, which is called Hex Command Nova, and we're getting ready to do the very simplest of all games, which is the Hex Command Ancients, which is kind of a misnomer, actually. Why? Because it's not that it's simpler. It's just that I guess it depends on your criteria what simple means. Because essentially the Hex Command Ancients can actually be complicated. It can take some effort to resolve certain, if not the whole game, certain instances on the game table and on the battlefield. For instance, the need to not make something overly simple is there, because you don't want to make it so easy that it's boring. I mean, it's not accurate as well. Melee, hand-to-hand combat, where the two groups, when they come together, just they just become mobs. That's really what they are. And it's hard to believe from all of our, we only have our films from Hollywood, the interpretations, to go by. And it's hard to believe that in the ancient times, we'll say the Roman times, for me it's Roman Carthaginian, that the units, when they got into hand-to-hand combat, didn't just devolve into massive amounts of men mobbing, just a mob. There was no way that you can imagine that they would have any ability to maintain any cohesion or cohesiveness or organization, which would be vital to the unit. We'll say it's a cohort. In regimental terms, it would be like a battalion, if you will. And the same would go for any melee situation, even in the horse and musket era. Once the units get into hand-to-hand combat, it's really hard to believe that they would be able to maintain any sense of control, ability to get out of it, for anyone to hear the commands. There's just no way. It wouldn't seem likely. And I know we saw Varenus in Rome, and I think it was the first episode, use a whistle. Well, I suppose if it's a high enough pitch and it's loud enough, you might have heard it, but it's even that's kind of hard to believe. But we did see that when he blew that whistle, the ranks that were involved in actual fighting moved backwards. The men would move through the guys standing behind them. They would go backward, and the guys would move forward. This was a decision made by, I don't know, who is it, John Milius? And the TV and the HBO show Rome, did he come up with that? Who came up with that? Who's the person responsible for that interpretation? Now remember, this is the time of Julius Caesar, and the barbarians, so-called Celts, or tribes in France, Gaul, Spain, whatever. But okay. Anyway, this is where we're at. And we're getting ready to set up this table. So we'll come back for other episodes of this setup and explain what we're doing, because we have to practice. We always have to practice before an actual convention. And it's just a one-day thing. It's a one-day convention. Actually, it's not even a convention. It's a game day. So there's no vendors. I think besides the fact that it's being held in a coffee shop, there's no vendors, I don't think. People selling anything to do with the hobby. Maybe there might be. I don't know. Maybe there might be auction tables or something. I don't know. It's minor. The fact is that I'm overjoyed with the opportunity that HMGS, Historic Miniature Gaming Society, has provided by having this thing established in Woodstock, because I've waited for a very, very long time to have at least the possibility of attracting more people into this hobby in my region. Anyway, so there we are. End of episode. Stop. Okay. Click. We'll come back.